Anthony on Air podcast back for another episode. A whole slew of great topics to keep you entertained and informed on this show, including the Epstein-Gates connection getting deeper, including Melinda's consideration for divorce. We're leading off with that. Golden Globes getting dropped by NBC moments before our broadcast here. Elon Musk on SNL, Dogecoin, cryptocurrency, and everything else. Callie has a surplus. Nicki Minaj making some news. So's Metallica. We'll get to that as well. Gwyneth Paltrow and snow days trending today on social media, especially here in New York. And we have New York's own Frankie C along for the ride. How you doing, my man?
Doing all right. Forget about it. From New York. Oh,
J-Sab's coming up, and let's see if she can do a stereotypical New York entrance as well. Epstein and Gates and Melinda Gates. So we were talking about this last couple of episodes, Frankie C, about the connection. If you want to really know the in-depth connection between Epstein and Gates, we're not going to go over that again. We did that all on the last podcast. We'll put links. If you're listening on Apple, just go back to the last one. Really went in-depth on how these two know each other and what the relationship is. This we're just kind of doing a little bit more of like just like some more stuff kind of creeping out today, and it makes me think that we've got a lot more stuff to come.
Every day there's something new.
Yeah, because
I wonder how much of this is coming out because of the divorce or because of the case. Like, what is being released from where?
Yeah, I wonder what's really. Yeah, it could be a little of both. It's probably just a little of both. The Ghislaine case and just the divorce altogether.
Yeah, like how much is Gates mentioned in the case? I don't know.
No, in Ghislaine's case, not at all. Nothing.
Right, nothing with them. Nothing with Ghislaine, but with Epstein.
No, but Epstein,
right.
Yeah.
So is there a Ghislaine tie? That would be.
Well, right, something. Yeah, that would be interesting. But right now, the story is, and we mentioned this a little bit last time, that Melinda was unhappy with the relationship between Gates and Epstein. Now we kind of know that the divorce consideration started way earlier than where we found out, which was the last week or two when they announced that they were going to divorce. Mm-hmm. And that they may have gone back as far back as when that first meeting occurred in 2011 between Gates and Epstein. Supposedly Melinda was very upset by it, and we have
Can't blame her.
We can't, and we have further background on why that was the case. So that's what we're talking about today here. But I again, we knew she wasn't happy, but to kind of realize, like, hang on, she's actually she has been considering divorce for years.
Well, yeah. Then I said they were probably just waiting for the last kid to turn 18 or something, and it's that old let's wait till the kids are out of high school or something to go off to college.
Yeah, but this Gates is not all, and I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. People have been slamming me for some of my takes on Gates because
apparently everybody's dead and everybody's a clone. That's the latest for some reason.
Because I said that two of the big Bill Gates conspiracy theories are not true. I still maintain that is. I still maintain that. And
do your research.
What I found hysterical was one guy said to me in the comments, I think I forgot where, tweeted me or Facebook or something. He goes, well, clearly we both did our research. I just believe that mine is true. I was like, that is such a 2020 answer of like, I'm telling you, ever since, who is the girl in Trump's deal?
Kellyanne Conway. What is it? What did she say? Alternative facts?
Alternative facts. Do you know in Back to the Future when Doc Brown puts the skew and goes into the alternate 1985?
Yeah.
That was the skew moment for us when she said alternate facts and it just became a thing. That was it. It was
could
done.
That be a thing? It's an oxymoron.
It was done. It's not that it's not true, but what it became was there's no more absolute. We will believe our thing. You believe your thing. Whatever subject doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I'll have my beliefs and you have yours. And that's basically it. And people have been like, so for years and years and years, we relied on sturdy journalism and people with, credibility and names and stuff like that. And that has since fallen to the wayside. And by the way, it doesn't fall deaf on me. Like, I'm fully aware that the media has abused their credibility to a
absolutely
vast degree.
Since we're literally not interviewing these people and we're, not the ones doing the reporting, we have to rely on sources that report,
right.
And we don't just rely on one. We go to many sources, and they have to be reputable, and they have to be,
right.
We have to trust them.
And people believe that damages our credibility, Frank. Some people feel that is a bad thing. But for those people, I will say this, and I maintain this to be true. We would not know peep about Epstein if it wasn't for the exact journalists that we piss on every single day. And
sure.
Because it was the journalists at the Miami Herald, and they deserve sole responsibility for this, that followed through on this story and kept it going, and they're the ones who deserve all the credit. So yes, I agree, the system's out of whack, and mainstream media has really, really damaged their own credibility. But as we always say, and you agree with me, there are still some great journalists out there who are doing real journalism. Anyway, I digress. Back to this. So yeah, she's been exploring the idea of divorce for quite a while. Now, what came out today was that Bill Gates, who I always just thought was kind of like a nerdy guy and whatever, and I'm sure on the way from nerd to billionaire had some pretty interesting nights.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with going to strip clubs. I don't think there's anything wrong with having crazy, wild California pool parties. Okay? I don't think that there's much wrong with that. But the timing of some of these things, again, kind of calls his credibility into question. And this is I'm not talking about this on a grand scale of he's trying to control us all. I'm talking about like respect for your partner, right? One-on-one respect for the person that you're sharing your life with. If you lack that, it changes. I feel like it changes opinion of what your character is. So James Wallace wrote this biography on Gates. He's actually written two. And this was kind of uncovered again, because who the hell remembers a biography from, 25 years ago? But to go back to that text and review it, it turns out that, Bill was doing all these crazy things, and he was doing them for a while, and he was doing them up until and including his time with Melinda. So the biography describes Gates as throwing wild naked pool parties with strippers and being a, quote, womanizer even after he met Melinda. They say that his lifestyle was well known amongst his inner circle, but newspapers like the New York Times hid the unflattering reports to continue to get spoon-fed stories from Bill Gates, which, again, I don't know if that happened in this particular case, but we know that happens. We know that happens all the time. It happened in the Epstein thing, where they were killing stories about Prince Andrew and Epstein because they wanted to get coverage for the royals, whenever they would do anything, because that always sells clicks in newspapers and ratings, right? We know that people will sometimes trade stories. Don't report this because I'll give you a story on that. And if that's a bigger one, newspapers, magazines, websites will all do this. I mean, this is kind of commonplace. These things kind of tend to come out anyway in general, eventually all this kind of stuff like we're kind of seeing here. But, this does happen. And that's just part of negotiation, deals. It's all part of journalism, has been since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So that definitely happens. So they said that the Times didn't report on the wild bachelor parties that Gates would throw in his Seattle home. Gates supposedly would visit all nude nightclubs, hire dancers to come to his home and swim naked with his friends in his indoor pool. It was a continuation from his time at Harvard, where he did like to frequent Boston's notorious Combat Zone with its porn shows, strip joints, and prostitutes. I mean,
Hey, Boston.
how about calling a place the Combat Zone? That's a hell of a name.
Seems like some stuff's gonna go down over there.
Seriously.
Some fits hitting the shin.
Mm-hmm. How would you like it if I called you up and was like, Frank, we're going to the Combat Zone tonight. You coming?
I'd have some questions.
You'd be like, what is the Combat Zone? Like, we're used to strip clubs being like the what's the one in Vegas?
The Rhino?
Rhino something, right? Yeah. Which I guess
pretty tame name.
Doesn't sound like a strip club really unless you really know what it is.
Yeah, nothing like the Combat Zone.
See, we're used to strip club names here in New York that are much more applicable, like Wiggles. Like, you know, when you go, you want to go to Wiggles, you know where you're going.
Pretty harmless sounding name.
Yeah, exactly. Supposedly, he continued to play the field for a while when he started to date his wife, who, interestingly enough, Melinda Gates has changed all her social medias to say Melinda French Gates. French is her maiden name.
French Gates. That sounds like something you put on the front of your driveway.
I was gonna say it sounds like the doors you put out to your backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the French Gates in the back here, so you can get right out and see. You know, you're right on the deck. Enjoy the pool.
Yeah, we got it. Move on.
So anyway, he says his lifestyle didn't end when he started dating his future wife, Melinda French, in 1988. Wallace wrote in the biography, one of two he has penned about Gates. He continued to play the field a while, especially when he was out of town on business, when he would frequently hit on female journalists who covered Microsoft and the company industry.
Okay, so, you know, going to strip clubs, having women over your house while you're single.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think that's anything. I mean, it's not, you know, something that the Pope would do, but it's nothing crazy.
We'll know the world has completely gone off kilter when the Pope does start doing it. When the Pope was spotted at Wiggles, then we know alternative facts have really hit hard.
You think they put like one of those bubbles around like his table?
I think so.
Fog that glass right up.
I think when he makes it rain, it looks like one of those money booths that you got to go in there and grab. He's just all concealed in there. We definitely lost the woman who complained I say Jesus Christ too much.
Yeah, I was just commenting on the bubble car, not the Pope himself.
I was taking it a step further. That's all I was doing. Anyway, his womanizing was well known, although not reported.
Yeah, womanizing's not good. That's not a good phrase to be associated with.
Well, and see, this is why this is lead story for tonight, because again, this is like when we started talking about Armie Hammer, or when we started talking about Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein in the beginning, where there's smoke, there's fire. This is smoke to me. Like, there's a lot of smoke here. Like,
it's not a good.
Yeah, if he's really flirting with a lot of women, if he was really being inappropriate with female journalists, there's no way that doesn't start coming out in the days to come.
Right. If he was just in bed by 10, you know, maybe turned on some Jeopardy, read a few chapters in a book, you know, worked on a program, and then went to bed every night, then it looks good for him. But this stuff does not look good combined with the Epstein stuff.
No. And I honestly felt like, and again, even if I'm buying into he's trying to control us all with his magical vaccine serums, even if I buy into that, I still felt like he was a guy who was, like you said, like in bed by 8, programming some weird, thing that he was, dreaming up. And then he goes to, like, I still didn't put him as a womanizer.
No, a big nerd was all I
thought. Because I don't think one has anything to do with the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not mutually exclusive.
Well, I guess anybody with a crap ton of money, you could have those wild parties. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a nerd or not. You could throw parties and that everybody will come. So.
But for the most part, I mean, aside from this book and things that are coming out and things that people read on Q websites, you never really heard much of this, which means that if it was really happening, there was a lot of money being thrown around or stories or favors to keep this stuff quiet.
I feel like, though, whenever you invite that many people to a pool party, especially, if you're inviting strippers and everything, some of that's got to leak out, no?
It's going to all leak out. And you go back
now. I mean, like the next day.
Eventually. Yeah. Oh, well, true. Yeah, true. True.
I was at Bill Gates' last night,
But
the big party.
But the thing to think about too is you're talking about 88, 92, 93. It's not like it is today.
Yeah, it's not on social media everywhere.
I mean, I don't even remember. I'm trying to think back if I think the most portable camera we might have had was those disposable ones.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And even if you consider that, like you talk about if it's going to be at his house, like I wouldn't be surprised if there was security to get in and it was like, you can't bring a camera into here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that.
Exactly. But people are going to come out and like Cosby, right? Everybody, there was people who knew when Hannibal Buress brought it up. He was like, this is well known. Everybody knows. And everybody was like looking at it like, no, we didn't. If you weren't in show business, you didn't know.
Yeah.
But it came out. Weinstein, the same thing. Even Epstein, the same thing. Like, this shit comes out eventually. You can't ever keep this stuff quiet.
No, especially nowadays with social media. You do once it's up online, it's out there.
That's why, like, I have total faith in humanity. Like, it may not come as fast as we all want, and unfortunately, a lot of people will be affected negatively, especially in the case of Cosby, Weinstein, and Epstein, which also sounds like a terrible
I wouldn't go to that law firm.
Yeah.
No. I don't want them representing me.
But it all comes out. I feel like you can't. It all comes out always. I feel like it always is going to.
No matter what, because that's the other thing with conspiracy theories too. I mean, you got to figure. Let's say like Bigfoot or the UFOs or JFK. In order to have a conspiracy, so many people have to be involved.
Yeah,
and the stuff has to come. Stuff it's going to come out. It's going to leak.
And it's funny going back to the Gates India vaccine. People are hammering me on that because I'm trusting Reuters. I'm trusting everything else I'm reading from every other, place that has done the investigation on it. But you just look at the simple facts of the case. Like, if he really did that, like the story was India was suing him. If he really did that, then where's the lawsuit?
Right.
If he really did, who's not going to want to take a swipe at a billionaire who's got the money if he's at fault for doing something?
Right.
Anyway.
No, agreed. I got to tell you, though, I'm sure Jay Sabs is going to be ticked off that we are only on topic number 1.
I am really
know.
at this.
She likes to get in on topic number 5 and ride the last 20 minutes of the show into the sunset.
Right.
Sorry.
Anyway, so back to this. Melinda, who filed for divorce on the after 27 years of marriage, is said to have, quote, been well aware of Gates' womanizing even after they started dating. Consequently, this Wallace wrote, their relationship ran hot and cold because of Gates' refusal to commit. When they got back together again in 1992, the relationship grew closer and stronger. The book includes interviews with some of Gates' executives, including Ann Winblad, who we talked about on the last podcast, who he continued to have weekends away with even after marrying Melinda in 1994. Now, doesn't that look even far worse than we were talking about last episode?
That's insane.
Yeah.
How you're able to get away with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
I told you. But
What'd
a
you
lot
tell-
of people do. A lot of people do weird things.
yeah, that's true. I mean, you're married and you have your wife fully knows about you going away with a side piece once a year for a weekend.
Yep.
It's messed up.
I could see it happening. I could see it happening even more with the rich and famous.
Which is it's such a sad commentary that we let people with money get away with more shit.
And it's like, for some reason, it's more like socially acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as long, I mean, if the 3 parties involved are okay with it, then who are we to?
Yeah, but like, would Melinda Gates let that shit slide if he wasn't where he was at status? Like, if he was just a garbage man or, post office delivery, which is not a bad profession, would she have let that shit slide?
I don't know. I don't know. But she, if I wonder if she ever voiced any kind of concern, like, don't do this. And he was like, I'm doing it.
Not to be total scumbag, because they're obviously making Bill look bad here. One of the Microsoft executives, Vern Rayburn, agreed with the biography's take on Gates. He said that there was infidelity during Gates' early relationship with Melinda, but that after he got married, that all stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then, like, how do you explain like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this sets
It's
up
all
that
going to unfold.
this sets up that Epstein friendship for not good results.
Not a good angle.
Yeah.
No, it's not good at all.
Yeah.
So we'll see as more unfolds.
Yes. As the world turns.
So speaking of turning worlds,
Golden Globes.
Globes.
So
What?
I almost said Tom Hanks. Tom Cruise.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, Tom Cruise. Heard about this.
Tom Cruise is returning his 3 Golden Globes that he won for Born on the 4th of July, Jerry Maguire, and Magnolia. Jerry Maguire, the greatest Tom Cruise movie of all time?
No.
I think it's number 1 for me.
Really?
Is it really?
Yeah, I love that.
Show me the money.
Yeah,
I mean, it's great.
I love it.
But I mean, Rain Man is great. A Few Good Men.
Oh, A Few Good Men is so good.
All the Mission Impossibles, I love those. Those are great.
Okay.
Top 5 would be tough. We'll have to do that one day. Anyway.
Tropic Thunder.
Yep. He's giving it back. A lot of people are giving the Hollywood Foreign Press a lot of garbage here. It feels like they've been really under fire from cancel culture. Now, they said, and it's funny too, because the Grammys are the same thing. At some point in the last 2 or 3 years, everybody challenged all these entities for not being diverse enough, for not, being inclusive enough, all this stuff. They all promised change. Practically none of them have delivered on that promise. And so today, NBC said for the first time that they are not going to air the Golden Globes in 2022. And that's
What?
massive, because they've been airing this show for 60-something years?
And what's the reason?
Lack of diversity.
The reason is they promised a whole bunch of stuff, and then the LA Times did a whole expose on it, and supposedly there was all this stuff going on behind the scenes that they're like, there's not even a lot of members to begin with, period, that it's just a small group of people that are controlling everything, and they've gotten so powerful, because they're basically the preamble to the Oscars. And I think people just got sick of it and just don't want this much control being wielded over, by such a little group. Netflix, Warner Media, Scarlett Johansson, 3 of my favorite streaming services, they all got together and urged the Hollywood Foreign Press to take action. And they didn't. 100 PR firms representing the film industry all said they would continue to refrain from the Hollywood Foreign Press if they didn't change their ways. This has all been like building. And NBC's been sticking with them over the last couple of months. And then I think really the nail in the coffin was the Golden Globes this year was down 60% in viewers.
Damn. And you would think. Damn.
And NBC pays $60 million a year for the rights to the show.
So someone else is gonna play it.
What?
Whoever jumps in for that one is not going to be looked on favorably.
Well, it's damaged goods. I mean, by the way, I said 60 years. It was since 1996. 60 was the million and the 60% drop in viewers.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's not a good. I mean, everybody's dropping them because of the Hollywood Foreign Press is basically there's no diversity in it at all. I don't think. If it's any, it's very small. And that's, whoever picks it up is just going to be like, scab.
I mean, I just think we live in different times. I think people want to see different shit. And on top of the diversity issue, something that I don't think anybody's really talking about, it's not entertaining anymore. And I feel like
it's so boring. It's like, what happened to it being like a little bit like entertaining? Nothing.
It's an award show. It's like, give us something new. Give me Billy Crystal did it great. I'm sorry, but
legend.
I know that's that was the 90s or whatever. He was unbelievable. At least he was entertaining. You look forward to it.
But here's the other part about woke culture that is a problem. woke culture and cancel culture and all this stuff, they those things can't make fun of themselves. Like you used to tune in and you used to see Billy Crystal joshing with people and giving them a hard time. I played
Everybody.
that Ricky Gervais thing where he was really kind of giving everybody a hard time. Even Amy Poehler and what's her name?
You could still do that.
Yeah.
No, they do it. What's the girl's name?
Amy Poehler and
Who I love.
wow.
How did it all just leave all
Tina
of us?
Fey.
Tina Fey. Thank
Fey,
you.
Very good.
Smartest person on the show, Jay Sabs. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. They give people the business a little bit, but I feel like they're so lost in the it became so much about preaching and being right and this and that, and it's lost its ability to just be an entertaining show.
Right. Not anymore.
I feel like the jokes and the host and all that stuff should be the entertainment. I mean, they'll do a couple of videos or shows, but again, it has to cut an hour off of it. Throw in a host, throw in all the jokes you can.
Yeah.
Give away a few awards.
And then it became this thing about equality, and I'm saying that not in the sense of men and women. I'm saying that in the sense of like we have to give sound editing equal time, and it's like, again, these are all things that sound great. Yes, you want everybody to feel equal, but the results are in. Nobody gives a shit about the sound editing. Like they just want to see their favorite celeb if they won or lost. And I'm sorry, there's very few categories that people care about.
Actor, actress, supporting, movie director. That's really all anybody really cares about.
That's it.
And honestly, what they should really do is go to the after parties, because that's really the most important thing too, because all good stuff happens there.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't want live cameras at an after party.
No thanks.
Speaking of after party, Elon Musk had a hell of an after party. And let me just say this. Fuck Elon Musk, okay? I've had enough of his shit.
Oh, I know why you're saying that.
I have 180'd on this son of a bitch.
Yeah, because Dogecoin dropped?
Basically, yes.
After his SNL appearance, Dogecoin dropped like,
oh my God,
what, 20-something cents?
I can't even tell you how much money I lost off of this stupid Dogecoin. Now,
you bought it low. It's still high.
I'm still up at the end of the day, but I saw a lot of money go away after this stupid son of a bitch hosted that SNL.
So what do you think it was? You think it was I feel like it would have gone up after his mom mentioned it in the opening monologue. But then in Weekend Update, when he said it was a scam or something.
Well, that's
that was a joke. Yes, that was supposed to be a joke, but I don't know if people took it that way.
Even in the opening monologue, he said to he said he got his mom a nice gift, and his mom was like, "I hope it's not Dogecoin," and he's like, "It is."
Right.
Like,
kind of shitting on Dogecoin.
It's funny, I get it, but it's not funny when you own, when you put your kid's college fund in this fucking thing.
Okay.
Hey, Ed, don't put your kid's college fund in Dogecoin.
Stop breaking the law, asshole.
Yep.
Plus, let your kids pay for college themselves. Come on.
Well, they have to now. There's no choice. I'm going to be like, kids, sit down. I'm going to tell you a story about Elon Musk and your ruined future. That's basically
public college.
Let me tell you a story about Elon Musk.
Did
you watch the entire SNL?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how. And I would love to see. We should get the ratings. Not only did I watch it, that's not that big of an accomplishment. I've watched full SNLs, my wife stayed up and watched it. That's how big this was.
I watched some of it, and I haven't done that in a long time.
I feel like it was a great.
Some of it too.
You did live. You watched some of it. Yeah, I think it was a great move getting him on for Lorne. Lorne Michaels a genius.
Yeah.
The problem is how hard would it be to have a conversation with him and say, let's really pump this motherfucker. Let's do this for real.
God.
Go ahead.
What are you talking about?
Dogecoin?
Lorne Michaels. Yeah, I'm saying Lorne Michaels. You come in and host. We get a big thing, and then we also make a little more on the side with our Dogecoin investment.
Oh God, that's exactly what he was thinking of, right?
Yeah, nothing illegal about that.
He should never be allowed back to host that fucking show.
I mean, so he's weird. Obviously, he's out there. I've never heard him talk before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I never watched a video of him. And then when obviously he said he had Asperger's, which I did not know. I don't know if anyone else knew that before.
I don't think anybody knew. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you say butt burgers? This is a family show. I don't want to get, YouTube is very hard on us these days.
Butt burgers sound gross, by the way.
Of course, because I like to always Wikipedia stuff. So as I'm watching the show, I Wikipedia'd him. And yes, I knew about him, but I didn't know about weird things that have happened with him. And I'm like, oh, okay. Wait, maybe I do remember that. With the whole COVID-19 and his tweets from last year. And I don't know, there was something else. And I was like, oh, he did that?
Yeah.
Something, a knife, brain fart. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he has a lot of money.
Oh, he's from another planet.
But I appreciated the COVID-19. I appreciated the mask reference in the skit, kind of.
Yeah.
His little, I screwed that one up,
He retracted that stuff.
Yeah, where I really would have liked an apology was in the whole Dogecoin fiasco, where he made me buy a whole shitload of it.
Now, after we do the show, I'm gonna watch the rest of it because I couldn't watch the rest of it. So,
if you watch the show, and he had a small part in this skit, the mayor of Easttown. If you watch that show with Kate Winslet,
no, I never saw that one.
It's a good show. Good? Yeah, it's only on episode 3 or 4 right now, but they did a skit about it, and it was perfectly spot on. It was hilarious. If you know the show, it doesn't.
That's on my list, actually.
If you haven't watched the show, it's going to be a swing and a miss. But if you watch the show, it's hysterical. The bit that they
detective.
It's like a murder mystery. Yeah, detective show, murder in a small town kind of thing.
Yeah, but he's a notorious slow talker. Maybe
that's what made me I was like,
well, he was fine.
He tried really. You could tell he tried really hard to keep that monologue moving because that's not the way he normally talks.
Yeah, no. Even in the skits he was keeping up.
But I said this before. I think I actually tweeted it. The move would have been walk out of that stage door onto that stage, take out your phone, and buy 1 million Dogecoin on the show.
Oh my god!
That would have been the move. We would have been sitting pretty. Instead, he makes jokes at the expense of Dogecoin. So then the thing tanks. I can't even remember what it went down, 20 cents or whatever it did, right after the show started. And then he tried to he threw an after party in New York. His wife, are they married or girlfriend? I think it's just his girlfriend, but they got a kid together. Right, Grimes was there. Miley Cyrus was there. Chris Rock went, which I might never talk to him again after this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, of course, Colin Jost and one of the guys from SNL showed up.
Where did he throw it?
He threw it at a hotel which has been closed since COVID started. And the name of the hotel, I want to say, is Public. Yeah.
Okay.
Hotel Public. So it was the first time they opened up the hotel since COVID, and they did it just for Elon. And the theme of the party was aliens and cryptocurrency.
Oh, I love. See, this is.
And then
the next should have been on SNL.
Next day, he dropped a YouTube song all about cryptocurrency to try and save or salvage what he did.
Oh, wait.
And has Doge gone up at all?
No, Doge has continued to fall.
That's what she said.
And I here's what happened. So the thing starts tanking. So I'm like, screw this. I'm not sticking around for this. So I sold all my stuff. And I had a nice little, not a nice little. I did, yeah. Believe me, if I would have sold at 73 cents, I would have been really nice. But I wound up selling at, I don't even remember what it was. I was still up, but it was not great. Then the thing, I'm like, it's tanking, it's over. Then it stops, kind of starts creeping back up again. I'm like, shit. So I bought back in again, which I shouldn't have done.
Oh, you're hooked now.
Wait, I sold again before I went to bed because it started going down again. And then I'm like, if this thing goes up again, I'm screwed. Like in the middle of this is what happens. This is why
this is the stock market. It's gonna drive you nuts, man.
So I set a limit order, which means that if it hits a certain thing, I buy. It just automatically buys for you. You could set it. So I set it for that overnight. It doesn't hit that at all until like 2 hours before I wake up. It hit that number and went straight back down again.
So you bought all this stuff and then it dropped.
And then it dropped again. So then he puts the So then he puts the song out. Now every time I'm doing this, I'm losing a smidge more because
you're buying it high and then it's dropping.
And it's dropping and fees and everything else. But I was so, high to begin with. I'm like, who cares? Because I made so much money off of it to begin with.
Playing with the house money.
Playing with house money. And then finally today I was looking at it and I don't know where it is right now. I'll check it right now. It's been bad.
So it was. So he what, a song? What song is this? He did it?
I don't know if he did it or he put money behind it or whatever it was, but it was somebody's cryptocurrency Doge song. But then on top of that, it's a okay kind of spoofy song.
Who's the artist? Who's singing the song?
I don't know. He tweeted it a couple. It's unimportant.
Cool.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like it's. I get what you're asking, Frank. It's not like it was somebody cool or well known or whatever.
I feel like he should have got Miley Cyrus or something to do it.
Yeah, he could have gotten. Well, he's married. Well, he's with Grimes, for Christ's sake. She's a huge artist. Anyway, and then he turns around in another effort to save this hunk of shit and announces that the first SpaceX flight to accept Dogecoin is being funded by Dogecoin. It doesn't even make sense. None of it, like, you're funding your own shit. It's so stupid because you change US dollars into Dogecoin and then you pay for this thing and makes this guy. Yeah. And what's killing me is it keeps bouncing around down to 40 cents, up to 46 cents. And I don't know. And I don't think anybody knows if this thing is going to go on a huge run again.
How the hell you're not, who knows at all? I mean,
nothing.
That's the stock market. You didn't know when you bought it originally that it was going to go anywhere.
No, but that was a different story though, because it was at a nickel and it had nowhere really to go but up. You know what I'm saying? And then
nowhere.
And then
way up.
But every time he tweeted, it crept up a little more, and then it crept up a little more, and then it got added to the Winklevosses. They have their own little like Robinhood Coinbase exchange. They added it, and that gave it a big bounce. So like you knew as the thing started to grow in popularity, it was gonna. That's why I said if he really did the right thing on SNL, it could have really taken off, but he didn't. And fuck him.
Got to keep the little guy down.
Yeah, and he's all sitting there going, oh, this is like, he's retweeting people that are like, this is like the hope for people that suffer during COVID. Like, here's their chance to like put in some money and make a ton. And he's like, yeah, I know it is. He's like retweeting people. It's like, you fuck. So then he, like, the other story is too, and this is like kind of been coming out the last couple of days. He bought a shit ton of Bitcoin, announced that Tesla would start accepting Bitcoin. The price went up because of that. And then Tesla liquidated a bunch of Bitcoin. And so they asked him about it. And he goes, we had to prove that it was the business model, that we could accept it and then get, cash for it. And that's horseshit. You fucking drove the price up and then you sold a bunch of it off. Like, you're just publicly.
How is that?
This is why he makes a lot of money.
Pumping and dumping, because cryptocurrency is not the stock market. It's not. Thank you. It's not regulated by the SEC. It's unregulated.
How could something being bought and sold online not be regulated by something?
It's just not. It's not.
Oh yeah. So. It doesn't have to be by any specific. Just the buying and selling laws, whatever the hell those are.
Right.
Should have some kind of say.
Stop defending Elon Musk, okay? I don't.
No, I'm defending you.
It sounds like you're defending Elon Musk.
All right, I'm saying he's manipulating everything, and everybody's getting screwed.
He's manipulating my emotions, Frank. Is what he's doing.
Well,
I could see.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy.
Okay.
Dipshit. See.
Speaking of manipulating,
eyebrows.
This Gavin, shut up. This Gavin Newsom. All right, so Gavin Newsom. Everybody's leaving California because Gavin Newsom sucks. Meanwhile, California has like the largest budget surplus that they've like ever had. They have millions of dollars in surplus. Wait, hold on. Is it billions?
No way, it's billions.
It might be billions, bro.
Dude.
Bro. It might be billions.
That seems like a lot of surplus.
$38 billion in budget surplus. And he's now proposing new stimulus checks for California.
Wow.
And they have one of the lowest rates of COVID now.
Right.
So people that like love him are like, how could you hate this guy? How could you have a recall election if he's doing this well with the budget? I mean, the federal government had to bail out New York. Granted, we had it worse than. I hate when people criticize Cuomo for this. It's like the virus came here from New York was the epicenter. Like, this is where it happened. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like being mad at Giuliani for being like, oh, it's like, this is where the attacks were, basically. You know what I mean? So that there's that part of it. But then the people that hate Newsom are like, you have $38 billion. Why aren't you using that shit to help eradicate the homeless issue that's running rampant all over Los Angeles?
Huge there.
So what is the plan for the $38 billion, which is insane?
He's talking about giving out stimulus to people, about giving it to low income and middle income families that need it throughout this crisis. Meanwhile, at the same time, and I talked to two business owners locally here in Long Island, okay, who told me the exact same thing. Today, it's a story, and it's been a little bit of a story for a while, but today it's really become a story that millions of Americans are unemployed, but businesses can't find people to work.
Yeah, well, especially the restaurant industry. That's the biggest one that I've heard.
Yep.
Well, how does that make sense?
Because go ahead, Jenny.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm tired of hearing my voice.
I take it, but I don't know what I'm saying.
So because you're getting paid more on unemployment than you would working nowadays. Like, a lot of people make more on unemployment than actual paychecks. So that's
which is why minimum wage needs to go up.
Right. But it's part of the COVID stimulus because everybody's getting the normal unemployment, which is not enough to live off of. That's why they upped. What is it, like an extra $600? I think in New York. No, I don't know if that's
right
federally.
Now it's $300 now.
Oh, it's $300. That's right. It was $600. Now it's $300. See, and this is why, again, I hate people that criticize the government for no reason. I mean, certainly they deserve it, but like when you're handing out the stimulus, when you're figuring this out, and even now today, it should have been linked with the 100% absolute reopen. When you reopen, when there are no more regulations and you go back to normal, it should have been this extra $300 goes until September. They should have wrote the law that says it goes till September unless we reach, 100% reopen status sooner, in which case that determines when that goes off.
The problem with that is say that there's another spike a week after that, then they have to pretty much go back
and turn it back on.
Yeah. So I think it takes longer to do that than just stopping it altogether. But the problem,
does it take longer, Janine? Because I've seen little Excel spreadsheets where you change one number and it changes everywhere else. So,
you know that trick too?
I'm just saying, I'd like to get that Excel up to Albany and see if the government is taking a look.
They're not ready for Excel.
I see it though too. Like, not for nothing. Medical assistants here in New York on Long Island, $15 an hour. That's nothing. That is nothing. So you know what? If you are getting paid more to stay home, people are going to do it.
They are.
Especially if there's no chance of them making more. That's the problem.
They 1,000,000,000% are. Yeah. Look, can you fault them? If we're not going to fault billionaires for not paying taxes because them's the rules, you can't fault people for staying home and taking this money because them's the rules right now.
That shit's got to end, by the way. I'll never.
It's both got to end, Frank. It's both of it's got to end.
Yeah.
I never understand not taxing billionaires. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Somebody sent out a tweet for Bezos, Gates, and one other billionaire person. and they were like, if they paid their fair share in taxes this year, here's the amount of money they would have left. And it was just like a really fun, absurd way. Like it was like Bezos would have paid like $5 billion and still had like $120-something billion.
Yeah.
Oh my
left.
God.
He wouldn't have felt a dent in
They
that.
wouldn't have felt it.
Nothing.
They wouldn't have felt it. And I know, and Trump was famous for this line where he was like, well, change the rules and then I'll pay the taxes. But it's like at some point, leadership where you go, I know I can get around this, but here's my fair share anyway.
They're not going to do that.
I just realized the third person in the example was Elon Musk, and fuck him, that piece of shit. Go ahead. Sorry, Frank.
He's going to be sore about this for a while. Okay?
No, I'm saying how, they're not going to do that. They're going to take every loophole they can because that's the greed that got them to be billionaires, and that's what they do.
I mean, it just doesn't. I can't fathom. Like, to me, the first one of these assholes that goes, here you go, everybody, I'm paying my fair share in taxes, even though I don't have to, would garner such goodwill amongst people that they could probably do whatever they want.
Or they call him a pussy.
Or what?
Or they call him a pussy.
I mean, I guess so, but I just feel like everybody's starving for leadership. That would be such a huge thing to do.
True.
I feel like everybody who
humans.
would be.
Don't count on humans.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold my breath for it.
Yeah, it sounds like it feels like everybody who's not a billionaire or even a millionaire would say, "Oh, if I were a billionaire, I would pay my fair share." But then, you take that same person, you put them in, you make them a billionaire. Are they still gonna pay that?
I would.
Pay their fair share.
I would.
I would too.
In fact, I'll say
that's
this.
why we're probably not going to be billionaires.
You're right about that. I'll say this in protest of this is what I'm going to do. I will not shave my eyebrows until all these billionaires start paying their fair share in taxes.
You see,
okay,
that's just a public health emergency. You can't do that to people.
When I careen off the road because I can't see and take out a whole family of nuns.
That's no good. You're endangering the public now. Stop being so selfish. So Nicki Minaj, what happened to her?
Nicki Minaj. Janine, are you excited? Do you like Nicki Minaj? Where are you with Nicki?
Oh, I love her.
You love her. Is Nicki behind Cardi B? Because I feel like Cardi B, because it was Nicki, then I feel like Cardi B was the new Nicki, and now I feel like
they're like the neck and neck. No,
Nicki kind of like fell out of favor.
She's a little bit behind. She hasn't put
out an album in a while.
Yeah.
So did Cardi. My wife just said she had a baby. So did Cardi B.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that she did have a baby.
I'm pretty sure Cardi B was pregnant during the Megan Thee Stallion thing, wasn't she?
I don't know. But what happened with Nicki?
Or still pregnant?
I don't know. Maybe Cardi's pregnant right now. I have a sneaking suspicion. Anyway, Nicki Minaj, new album supposedly coming on Friday.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yay.
She tweeted
Frank can't wait either.
I like Nicki Minaj.
Look at his face.
What?
She tweeted these photographs just a few hours ago, and the caption was FRIDAY with fingers crossed, which I didn't get the fingers crossed. But here's the photos. You could see her there. She is she's on a pink desk with a pink chair. She's got a pink fluffy heart covering her hooties.
Pink.
And
right.
An even darker pinker heart covering her hoo-ha.
Oh, the darker pinker part.
The hooties and the hoo-ha.
The hooties and the hoo-ha. And here's another one
Great
she
band.
took, as you can see right there. The same shot, just a little bit. And she's naked, but she's covering it all up with those heart
supposedly.
pillows.
Good for her.
Allegedly, if you believe the fake news,
right.
She's naked.
Mm-hmm. No, she's naked. Now, see, and she's getting a ton of publicity. So this is what I want to do. This is the question I want to ask. Janine, will you take pictures of Frank in these poses? I think that would just be huge for everybody.
Absolutely.
All right, sweet. Frank, are you in?
Absolutely.
I mean, you get me those pillows and we'll talk, but...
Find these heart pillows. How much are they on Amazon? We're doing a photo shoot.
That's what she said.
We're finally going to give all the Frankie C fans what they've been wanting for years and years.
God,
Covered
especially
up,
that one who thinks he has a third leg.
It's a tease, though. It's a tease photo. I'm not showing anything.
I would fucking die, Frank, if we got these pictures of you.
I can never run for office. These pictures come out. It's like,
Oh, darn.
Maybe if it was 1975, but it's 2021.
Oh,
this
these
might
days,
get you
yeah.
the nomination.
That's true.
Exactly.
Seriously, can you price me out some heart pillows?
Is this a serious thing? I thought we were kidding. Are we actually doing this?
Can you take a look on Amazon? No, yeah. Are you willing to do it?
Can I have my name Frankie in neon like Niki has?
Oh, I like that.
I got to see if my neon guy is in town.
You get me a Frankie sign in neon, and then we'll talk.
Will you settle for cardboard and Sharpie? That's kind of the style of the show.
Yeah, but we don't half-ass things here. Come on.
You know what? I'm going to leave this up to Janine. She's the one taking the photographs. It's going to be up to her.
Oh.
She doesn't have to
Set
take
design.
the photo. I could get my wife to take the photo if anything.
No, it's got to be Janine. I want to see her screaming at you.
Oh, good.
Scream at him right now, Janine.
Pull up your leg a little bit more.
Yeah, yell at him to give you more passion.
Frank, what are you doing? Put up your leg a little bit more, little bitch.
Which one?
Oh, God.
But no, I don't. Nobody wants to see that.
Which one? You implying that you've got 3?
Two.
Egotistical son of a bitch.
I only said 2.
Yeah, really?
Could have been my left or right. What? What? Nobody wants to see this.
We'll put it in the polls. We'll see. Let's see how many people in the comments. How many comments would it take? 10? 20?
You give me 20 people that want to see that. A Frankie Minaj photo. Then
Okay.
Maybe.
God.
That's what I want to see that in the comments. If you write, I want to see that in the comments, we're going to come back in a week and see if we've got 20 comments of people that want to see that.
That's what she said.
Just remember what you're asking for.
This is great. I feel like this is kind of torture for both Frank and Janine, now that I think about it.
Don't torture me. I'm not getting this is not no skin off my ass.
All right, we're pricing these out now because it's got to be affordable. Because I don't know if you heard, but we lost $30 shipping the Sync thing to fucking England. Yeah.
Wait.
The ones that are in the
send it to
Nicki Minaj
England?
shot. Take these pillows.
Just fluffy. What are they called? Shag.
Wait, is it better to do the pink hearts or should we do the poop emoji? What's better?
Oh, God.
Huh.
I actually think we have a poop emoji pillow. Do we still have that?
You really want me posing with it?
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna want it back.
Here's what's crazy about the Nicki Minaj photo. I'm taking a look at it now, and take a look at the tattoo on her arm. You see that?
What does that say?
I think it's
Chinese writing.
I think it's the same writing that was on the Sync thingy box, if I'm not mistaken.
Same style,
Right?
It says stainless steel.
Same maker.
It says stainless steel. That is such a great callback that only 10 people are gonna get.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to see if I have a picture of the Sync thingy around. I think I might have deleted it.
I couldn't
Gwyneth
even find
Paltrow-
it anywhere in my emails, and I
my
bought
God,
the damn
really?
thing.
Oh, God.
It disappeared because your computer thinks it's spam. Go ahead, Janine.
Gwyneth Paltrow, does she have a new vagina candle? Is that her story?
Here's the Gwyneth Paltrow story, and this comes from The Guardian. I love this. Gwyneth Paltrow broke down and ate bread and drank alcohol during quarantine. She is said to have quoted herself as going off the rails.
Wait, she ate bread and drank what?
Alcohol during quarantine and was described as going off the rails. I love how this is going off the rails, yet mass producing a candle based off the scent of your vagina is perfectly okay.
Virgina.
Yeah. Your vagina candle is totally normal, but you had a fucking sandwich and shit's off the rails.
So she's
having bread
she's a
and
vegan,
drinking-
right?
Yeah, she's a
She's a
vegan.
vegan, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
is having bread and drinking not vegan?
But I thought vegans still drink too.
Well, she's everything. I don't know if you know this. If there's a thing out there, she's
I mean, that's just
Yeah.
What does she eat? Just like
Air.
broccoli
I think
and
she's
kale,
part-
so she can
I
shit.
think
That's
she's. I think she does photosynthesis. She stands outside
it.
and just collects sunlight.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you know what else she does? She sticks herself in like a tub, and like when you did that experiment for like science fair, like you would just pour celery in a cup and just pour different things in it and see what happens to it. Maybe that's what she does too. I don't know.
What
You never
science
did
fair
this
did you go
experiment?
to? No.
Oh my God! Come on!
What were you
you've
trying to
done this
prove?
before?
What was?
Like
What was
what the
the point of the
celery,
experiment?
what the celery sucks up? I don't even know. My mom helped me with it. Thanks, Mom.
So is Gwyneth
Now I feel
Paltrow the
dumb.
celery stalk?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. She's a celery
Anyway.
stalk, so she just goes into tubs and just sees where her body absorbs,
Just
opens up
absorbs
all holes. Yeah.
She eats through osmosis.
Yeah, there you go. She doesn't eat food. She just snuggles with it and takes it in.
Oh my God.
And inhales it.
Yeah.
Breathes
Maybe
it in.
they poured the alcohol in her butt.
Well, she said that would be something else. She said that she admitted to drinking as many as 2 cocktails a night.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now,
Easy now.
we have friends of ours that polish off 2 bottles of wine a night. Okay, that's 2
Yeah,
cocktails.
exactly.
It's basically nothing.
Right.
I mean, if she's off the rails, where I'm trying to come up with another train joke, but I can't do it.
This made me
Why
want
she's not
to.
drinking.
This made me want to throw my fist through the wall. Supposedly, one of them. And I don't even know if this is true or if the
Oh,
Guardian
God.
is just trolling me here. But supposedly, one of the cocktails was a quinoa-based whiskey. What the fuck is that? Whiskey is. You cannot make whiskey out of quinoa. It's made.
Well,
But
guess
you
what?
can. Maybe
Someone
the
did.
quinoa identified as.
Oh, yikes! I am not going.
What do you
near
think?
that.
Oh, she's definitely all for that. So she was all for, like, okay, what does this quinoa identify as?
But this fucking asshole can't even drink the right way. She's got to drink a quinoa-based fucking whiskey.
Yeah.
Where do you even get that?
I don't even know.
That's weird. I mean, how do you be all these things? Like, how are you all these things? Like, it must be so hard to go out to eat, like with your friends. Like,
I know.
she sounds like she's more than vegan. And come on,
Well, she's Gwyneth Paltrow. She probably calls ahead and says, "I'm coming. Make whatever I like.
make
to
me a tomato with some salt on it."
eat." That sounds good, actually.
Is that a good shirt? My barley identifies as quinoa. You think we
Yes.
could move a couple
No.
of those? No.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I think the LGBTQ folks would embrace the shit out of that.
I think so too.
the opposite.
Really? You think that's
I
insulting?
think it's a funny joke.
Yeah.
You think that's insulting to them, yet you're okay with her drinking a fucking quinoa-based whiskey in my face? That's fucked
Yeah, I don't
up.
care about insulting you. I give a shit about insulting you.
What if I was trans? Then would you care?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
he's still a jackass. As long as you identify as a jackass.
A quinoa base. Now listen, by the way, I love a good quinoa. I'll eat the shit out of quinoa. I think it's delightful.
So what are you complaining about?
And delicious. It just doesn't belong in whiskey. It belongs in a salad or as a side dish.
When did you become whiskey connoisseur?
I've connoisseured whiskey.
You've drank whiskey.
Yeah, oh yeah. I did a whiskey tasting once 6 years ago.
Good for you.
I think I'm qualified.
Okay.
Once.
I'm sure you know all the ingredients, you know how it's made, and you are the be all end all of whiskey making. There's no other ways to do it.
I was at an appearance, a radio appearance, and we did it at Town Line Barbecue, which is in Sagaponack.
Ooh, that place is so good.
Which all the celebrities go to. Like I can't even tell you the amount of celebrities I've seen walk
Don't make
in
me
there.
pick up names.
I won't. But like a takeout,
tell me.
walk in and get stuff and then just
Tell
like
me,
go
tell me,
out.
tell me one.
Nah, it's
Tell
not.
me one.
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you.
Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
Probably. I don't think I've seen him though. Maybe I don't remember. There's so many I've
No, his
probably
wife is
forgotten.
vegan.
Anyway, so I'm there and they're like making a huge deal out of their like whiskey collection. It's like one of their selling points. It's like come here. Like no other place in the Hamptons has like these whiskeys. So like, do you want to do a whiskey tasting? And I was a smidge over ambitious, and I was like, yeah, I want to do a whiskey tasting. And they were like, it's like 5 whiskeys. Like, you sure you can do like a whiskey flight? I'm like, line them up, man. I could do it. I can handle it.
Was this the Old West?
I was hammered.
He had a gun on his hip.
And
On his hip like a monkey.
Fast too, because like the first 2, they were like, now do you taste like the little bit of like honey and tarragon and this? I'm like, I do. By the 3rd one, I was just going, I was just shaking my head yes to whatever the guy was
taste
saying.
whatever you're telling me. I taste because it's whatever it is, baby. Line them up again. Let's go again.
Yeah, but they did taste different. I did know that they tasted different. I couldn't really identify what each one was.
I can't do whiskey. I mean, like I tried. I just can't.
Oh, whiskey's good.
I just can't.
I like the spicy ones.
You like it? Even my husband too. He can't drink it.
Really? I will like say an old fashioned and a Manhattan. Those are my go-to cocktails when I go out.
Yeah, no, he can't. He can't even stomach the thought of them. He can't.
Really?
Whiskey sour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not even bad because they put like honey in them and they put sugar.
They put other things in them, but I think
bitters.
He just does not.
He can't hack it.
Like whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah, but some people are like that with tequila. They just can't. Tequila just never ever agrees with them, no matter how smooth or how
Yeah.
Well, that's probably based on like you got drunk off of it, and now you just can't go near it because it like triggers your memory of being.
No, he just never really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, I
that could also be.
This might be the only show where the female co-host calls her husband a pussy openly on this. Like, I don't know if you get this anywhere else.
Only here,
Thanks
folks.
for tuning in. This is the only exclusive content.
What I was going to say before Janine cracked me up was, I don't know if I've gone. What's the licorice one? Jaeger?
Jägermeister,
yeah.
I don't know if I've gone near Jaeger ever since the Vegas incident.
I haven't either, but
what did you do?
I could. It wouldn't bother me, I don't think.
But going back to what you said, Frank, that really triggered something of like he had a bad experience with it, and that's why
I agree.
It makes him sick. I feel like I don't know if I would like it would. You would really have to.
You didn't get sick in Vegas.
Well, I definitely hurled.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
well, I didn't know that.
You were so
but he was just
know.
kidnapped, and you guys couldn't find him.
Also that. There's also that.
And his
bed
little
Breaking
was
Bad
outside
episode
the hotel.
for you.
People,
Right.
and I also feel like Jaeger is like a young person's like.
Yeah, it's a shot.
It's a rookie shot. Yeah, you only started drinking in like the last year or two.
Right.
Yeah, but we were doing Jaeger bombs.
Yeah, exactly.
We were
exactly.
Here's another thing like that, but I have a little bit more tolerance for it, especially around a certain time of year. Fireball.
Oh yeah, that I could do.
Fireball, I feel like is another rookie shot thing, but like cinnamon liquor, like that's delicious, especially around Christmas.
I agree. I can't drink white wine because of an incident that happened years ago.
White wine?
All white wine?
That's
all white wine.
That's barely a cocktail, I'll tell you.
Well, let me just tell you.
What about like a sangria?
I want to hear this story. Go ahead.
I mean, me and my friend and her husband and my husband, we met at the local Asian fusion place. And we ate sushi, we're drinking wine, and there was karaoke. And I was like, oh, well, you know.
By the way, can I just ask a question? Has the Asian fusion thing completely taken over the Chinese restaurant? Like, there's...
Oh, I know.
If we measure how many straight up Chinese restaurants there are,
straight up Chinese, right,
versus Asian fusion, I feel like Chinese is declining and Asian fusion is taking over.
You're talking about not like you're talking about like Chinese, like a sit down restaurant. You're not talking
sit down, not takeout. Sit down restaurant.
Yeah, they're rare now. I remember when we were young, there were Chinese restaurants. You go in, you sit down. They give
everywhere.
You they give you the noodles with the duck sauce as
in
lieu of bread. You know, that was good.
Not here, not anymore.
Can't find them anymore.
I don't know what happened over the last 10 years. I feel like every Chinese restaurant was like, we got to get an Asian fusion thing going, or else we're gonna fucking be out of business.
Yeah, let's add some Thai food here. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, go ahead, Janine. You were telling a story.
So there was karaoke, and I don't even know what happened, but my husband was like, "We got to go now."
Janine loves
And I was
karaoke, by the way, just so everybody
that's
knows.
like, I love it. Like, I don't even need to drink to do it. And
should we do a karaoke? Well, we can't do a karaoke show. That's right.
oh god, I would love that.
Copyright. We can't do it.
So I got home, and you know when you just like you stop, and then the whole room was like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I threw up in the bedroom. My husband's like, go lay down. And I was like, I'm going to go lay down. I promise. I go in the bedroom and we have rug in there, rug floor, carpet.
You
And
threw up on
he's
the rug?
like, he goes, go in the bathroom. And I was like, I'm not going to throw up.
Was it at least white wine or was it multicolored?
It was multicolored because it was all the sushi.
Oh.
So now my thing was, I was like, I'm gonna clean it. I promise I'm gonna clean it. I was like, he's gonna kill me. So I went in the. Oh, by the way, at this point I already had taken off my top clothes and just left my pants on. I don't know why.
You were getting that throw up gear. You were getting ready.
Yeah.
This was at the karaoke bar.
No, this was. Maybe. I mean, it is possible.
Yeah, who knows?
So now I'm in front of the kitchen window. Blinds are open, topless, and I'm like, the cleaner's right here. And I kept getting Windex, and Gaetano's like, that's not the cleaner. I thought it was like that like rug carpet cleaner, and he's like, I was like, this is it. And he's like, Janine, it's Windex. Like, stop it. You're not going to clean the floor. I was like, it is carpet cleaner. And I remember fighting with him.
You're an angry wino.
It was.
How much white wine did you have?
Well, that's the thing. Me and my friend had like a bottle and a half, which isn't really a lot, right?
That's not.
It's not.
No.
So we were convinced that we got sick from it because after the topless kitchen window, I went back into the bedroom and I threw up 2 more times in the bathroom though. And I remember it wasn't late. It was like maybe 9:00, maybe 10:00. The next morning I woke up and I texted my friend and she was like, oh my God, the same thing happened to me. She was like, I was throwing up all night. And I was like, it's not a lot of wine. And she's like, we were definitely like, it was poisoning. It was food poisoning, we think too. But
are you sure you weren't drinking sake?
I'm sure because I don't like that.
Sake is
But
good.
yeah,
When's the last time you had sake?
Since then, I cannot have white wine.
2 years ago?
Nope.
Well, the other thing too is seafood. I feel like is worse with drinking. Like I don't think a steak will get you as sick or chicken as sick as seafood and booze.
Oh God, it's horrible.
Yeah,
that's no good.
Snow days in New York City. This was trending.
Not cool. Not cool.
You know about this, Janine?
Yeah.
Here's what's disappointing about this. So they're debating taking away kids' snow days in New York City.
That's bullshit.
Meaning because we're now all set up for learn from home, they're like, if you have a snow day, we could technically do work. You know, we could have all the kids go and do school from home. But
that's not cool.
What's so disappointing about this is, I don't know if you remember, but this happened during quarantine.
That's right.
And when everybody here in New York was home, we had a snow day and they decided not to do the virtual learning, to give the kids like a mental day off to go out and enjoy the snow.
Right. That's what they need. That's why they're there.
Right, exactly.
So
plus the safety of traveling, but still, snow days, you look forward to those every now and then.
Yeah, but it was like, how did we have the sense to do it then? And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, next year we're taking this shit away. Like, what the fuck? How does this happen?
Why don't we just make the kids go to work go to school 7 days a week through the why even give them a summer as well? I mean, let's just have them go all year round and nonstop. Give them snow days. What is it? A few days out of the year.
Like, come
Plus,
on.
it's for the teachers too. Teachers get to stay home. Everybody gets a day off. Relax. It's one day.
Yeah,
they're not gonna fall behind years and not graduate because they're off one day. It's ridiculous.
Come on.
I agree.
It's a mental health thing too. Yeah, they can have fun on a day they were expecting to do work. It's good stuff.
Yeah, but all of a sudden they're trying to take it back now. It doesn't make any sense. And how much horse shit, let's be honest, like I feel like we need to make school a better, like I think we could do a better job, especially since like what we're falling to like 18th or whatever in the world in schooling. Like the US has just been awful lately in schooling. We're getting our asses kicked by like everybody. But
Well,
still,
you know what? The
That's
US
nothing new,
isn't what it was. So sorry.
it's not. But I still feel like there's a shit ton of fluff in the school year. Like you could probably, how long do the kids go to school for? 180 days?
80
160
days, yeah.
days? You could probably tighten that up to like 165 and not really lose a beat, not miss a step.
Yeah, really.
So we're going to sit here
Come
and
on,
argue
people.
about 2 snow days, you know.
Seriously.
Kids should have off like every other Friday or something.
Summer Fridays for the kids? Is that what you're saying?
Summer Fridays
Ooh.
all year round.
Can barely get, a boss to do that.
Yeah, spoken by a true person who does not have children.
I was a child once though.
Yeah, I know.
With Summer Fridays.
Parents are
would've been great.
screaming
Frank.
at the podcast right now going, "Are you crazy? Every other Friday off? You fucking mad?"
If you pay attention, a minute ago I said have the kids go all year round. I was joking.
Yeah, he said that.
About which one? We can't trust the media these days, Frank. You know that.
We can't.
That's true.
Frank forced me to put Metallica on here because
I did not. I said there's
How
some
much did
slight
he pay
Metallica
you?
news.
a lot.
I said there's some news with Metallica.
To be fair,
You asked
to
if
be
it was
fair,
worthy to be on the show, and I
Hold
said,
on.
yeah, it's good. It's
to be
good.
fair, the last couple of topics Frank's want to put on the show, I've denied. Now, granted, they were anti-transgender stuff, but
You're an asshole.
I still felt justified in doing it. And so I was like, let me let this one go. He said it
one
was
drink.
a worthy story. Now, I'll say this. If the story is Metallica is anti-transgender, then I'll never let him suggest a topic ever again.
You're a dick. I love my transgender fans out there. Everybody's great.
Do you, though? Because I can show people text messages.
Go for it.
Okay.
Bring up the text message. What text messages you got?
I'm going to release them right before
challenge
the
you.
election. Go ahead,
I
Frank.
challenge you. So Metallica released. They did an interview and they said over quarantine. Now the two people on my left and right here are not going to find this interesting, but for any Metallica fans out there, they we're always waiting for the next album and it's years between each album.
Always.
So
Far
they said,
too long, by the way. Like
It's too long.
decades, right? Has it been like 10 years in between albums sometimes?
Sometimes, but the last album came out in 2016, and it's too long now. So they said they've written at least 10 songs during quarantine. So hopefully, we're expecting a new album soonish. So that's the news: is they've written at least 10 songs while they were in quarantine. They did it over Skype. They did it. They weren't in studio, but they were, communicating with each other, checking in, and they've while they were just home quarantined, they managed to write almost an album's worth of songs. So
10 songs.
it's just a little Metallica.
10 songs in a year, and I'm supposed to be impressed by that? That's not impressive. If it was like 25 songs, that's about, anything less than 25 songs in a quarantine year is
How many songs you write?
I wrote 40 songs that I will be putting on an album
We should do.
and releasing at the time. I've gone with the Prince model. I'm just all recording right now, and it's all going into the vault.
Okay, good for you. What's the name of your title track?
It's just a symbol.
What does it look like?
Remember the Prince thing I said?
Is it like
It's
a
an
middle finger?
uncircumcised penis.
Okay.
It's an uncircumcised middle finger is what it is, actually.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
That's not bad.
By the way, Frank, unrelated, I need you to draw something for me after the show.
Yeah, exactly. On that note.
I'll pass.
All right, usually I like to keep the show going for another 20 minutes after Janine says the first on that note, but I'm actually going to let her end the show tonight.
Wait, are we leaving it there?
We're leaving it
Did I
there.
just say that?
You did
Wait,
say,
did I
that.
just say that?
And do I say we'll leave it there at the end of every show? I think
No,
I do.
you say we'll leave it there, and then another 20 minutes go by.
And then I try to blink,
Yeah.
No, you yawn, and then the lights flicker on and off, and that's when we know it's time to go.
I usually shut off my
Yeah, there you go.
light, and then I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I get a lot of text messages from Janine during the show that's like, is the show over yet? And then Frank chimes in. He's like, I have an anti-transgender
Something
rally to go to.
Right? You're a dick.
God.
People don't know, though, as the show ends and we have our little post-show meeting, Janine takes us like into her kitchen. We wound up in her bathroom one time. That was very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Well,
what the hell?
Listen,
It's
girls
very
do
Blair
these
Witchy.
things too.
Yeah, I feel like we're one step
It is.
away from she's just going to like take her camera into her bedroom and force us to watch her and her husband. That's why I feel like this is going, and I'm uncomfortable with the whole thing.
Can we get a preview? Like, could you do your walk around, after show walk around now?
One time
Since
she
we're wrapping
snuggled
up.
with her husband. Do you remember? We had to watch her and her husband snuggle together. Do you remember that time, Frank?
I was a little uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable.
I mean, you
Sorry.
have to take your pants off, though, man. I mean, that made it just a little extra.
Oh, I don't know what the rules are.
It's true. We never had that talk.
What's your safe word?
We should all get safe words, don't you think?
Yes.
My safe word is I'm leaving. Stop.
Come on, you don't think my husband has one? That's what we're talking about. Okay,
I
never mind.
know your husband has one. Several. Because I've been preparing for the deposition that I don't know if you know is coming.
I think your husband has a life alert necklace that he has to press if he's in trouble.
We should get him one. I would love to have Janine's husband on one show just to be like, how many times have you really been afraid for your life?
Right.
Because I'm not going to lie to you. There's a couple of times where I've been afraid for my life with my wife.
Not,
where it's
not
gotten a
so
little...
much now. I definitely think when we were younger, like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like
Now my wife and I have AARP sex, but back in the day it was a little raucous and
Nowadays, the backs aren't what they used to be.
yeah, sheetrock would fall from the walls, that kind of shit. Now it's like, we might
the
knock
swing.
over our Metamucil on the nightstand.
That's too expensive to do that. You can't waste
Centrum-
Metamucil.
Centrum 21.
I told you. Let's leave it there.
Let's leave it there.
20 minutes go by.
And your Colace. All right.
That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. Shop AnthonyOnAir.com for our merch or get the link at AnthonyOnAir.com. If you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure you rate and review. If you're on Facebook or YouTube and you haven't hit the thumbs up button, something bad is going to happen to you. Okay, here's the thing.
Oh, God. That's terrible.
Whatever side you're on politically, the other side will win if you don't hit the like button on Facebook or YouTube. Okay. And I don't know if you know this, but they're trying to destroy our country.
You see?
Just look at what Jim Jordan / Nancy Pelosi has been doing this week, and it's evident that they're trying to destroy our country.
That like button. That like button's going to fix everything.
If you hit the like button enough, Nancy Pelosi and or Jim Jordan or Lindsey Graham and or Chuck Schumer will disappear. So, just saying.
50-50 shot.
It's worth a try. It's worth a try. If one of them disappears, that will be really good for the show.
That would be, you'd be in jail. FBI would be at your door.